Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Welcome to the Pageant Talk Hub, where we have real conversation and silent truths. Today, I want us to have a candid conversation in regards to one of the most common issues that we are experiencing globally. But before we dive into it, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, strike the like button, and then knock the bell so that every now and then you will be given a notification every moment we have a new release. Now, today I want us to talk about a crisis. Let's call it border crisis. More so, recently we witnessed one of the most heartbreaking migration happening between Africa and Europe, whereby we saw a good number of people cross over 60,000 migrants cross from that is Morocco heading to Spain through the Ceuta border, which created a crisis. And the most heartbreaking thing is that almost over 35 individuals, to be precise, have lost their lives as they try to cross over to the Europe in trying to seek for greener pastures or to run away from situations that are affecting them within the African continent. At the same time, if I can take you back a few years or months back, we also witnessed the same happening as many individuals were crossing from the South America through the Caribbean heading to North America, that is the United States of America. Others crossing from Mexico to America in search of greener pastures. And we see hundreds or thousands of individuals cross over the borders to newer locations. This one it's a situation that has been there all for a very long time. But now in the modern world that we are living in, it is becoming a crisis that we cannot turn our eyes against. We have to have this conversation and look into the scenarios in which or conditions in which people are forced to migrate from one point to another. The same issue doesn't affect Africa alone. It affects South America. It has affected the Middle East, the Asian countries. It has affected the Europeans, whereby you see people crossing over from maybe places like Russia, others crossing from Ukraine. We have Poland and other countries moving to the Western countries, that is like the UK, France, Germany, and places like Spain, and so on and so forth, in search of newer pastures. So, do you think something is it a crisis, or it is just trying to survive in this era? Now, look at it this way: what really happened in the Ceuta, we call it the Ceuta border crisis, whereby over 60,000 migrants crossed over to the Spain within 24 hours. Within 24 hours. Imagine, within 24 hours. Now, before I give an explainer of everything, I want to share a video of the same as you witness and see people cross over from that is from let's say Morocco to Spain. I want you to look at this video, and then you will be able to tell me, or you'll be able to grasp actually what we are talking about. I want you to take your time. Just a minute as I set my video.
Well, hundreds of migrants have swum from Morocco to the Spanish on.
Now, actually, I'll be sharing two videos. I'm sharing two videos. Sharing two videos here. I'm going to set it up. Check. Minutes and I set it up. Okay.
Well, hundreds of migrants have swum from Morocco to the Spanish.
Now, there we go. Now look at this video. You can look at the video. You're able to see people crossing over. That is the Ceuta border. Actually, you're able to see a good number of people. Look at them. You are able to see them. They're very young people. Others are jumping over the fence. Others getting injured as they try to jump. Just watch that. You can see. You can see thousands of migrants. Look at women, very young, crossing over the Ceuta border. Where are they heading to? They're heading to Spain. Look at that. It's a very, very large numbers of individuals crossing over. At the same time, look at that information. Look at that.
Video footage from Ceuta shows large
footage
groups of people coming
showing what
across the
was happening
frontier,
in the border. Other
making their
side,
way
taking the risk of
around
crossing
the
over the
breakwaters to gain entry
Mediterranean
into the
Sea,
Spanish territory. Now,
risking
most
their lives
of
of
those
drowning
crossing appeared
as
to
they try
be
to cross.
young men, but
Look at the
families,
young men
women,
and
and children
women.
were also among the
They're very
arrivals.
excited
Some
about
migrants
crossing
were
over. Look
heard
at that.
shouting
Look at the
support
women.
for Spain as they entered the enclave. Ceuta is a small Spanish territory on the northern coast of Africa, bordering Morocco, and has long been an entry point for migrants seeking to reach Europe. Local authorities have asked Madrid to declare a national emergency and provide military assistance to help manage the growing number of arrivals. Well, I'm joined now by journalist Stephen Burgeon. He has
Now, as
reported
you
on
can
Spain for
see,
more than
you
2
are able
decades.
to see what has been happening, and the crossing over of these individuals, the young men and women from the African continent, is really, really heartbreaking, whereby many people are moving out, moving to places, crossing over, risking their lives. There have also been scenarios whereby we have had many young people cross over, others from Senegal. They've crossed Senegal, others have crossed from Western Sahara region. We have Mali, we have Senegal, Mali, we have Mauritania, and all like Nigeria, crossing over to Europe, trying to go and find greener pastures. Now, as we look at it and dive into it, what really happened in this particular case? What do you think? What will make tens of thousands of people risk drowning, arrest, or even death just for the chance to cross a border? In just one day, approximately 60,000 migrants crossed from Morocco into the tiny Spanish territory of Ceuta, creating one of the Europe's biggest migration crises in recent years. Soldiers who have been deployed or were deployed, emergency shelters were created because there was an overflow, and the entire world watched in shock. But this is a story. But this story is about much more than immigration. It's about politics. It's about economics. It's about human desperation and the future of Europe. At the same time, the future of Africa. So this is just a global crisis. Today, we are breaking down what happened and why it happened, and what will be the next step. Uh, as we move forward, we need to understand what is Ceuta. Many people have never heard of Ceuta before. Ceuta actually is a very small Spanish territory located on the northern coast of Africa, surrounded by Morocco. Although it is physically in Africa, it is politically part of Spain and therefore part of European Union. That makes Ceuta one of the very few land borders between Africa and the European Union. So for decades, it has been a getaway for migrants hoping to reach Europe in search for better opportunities. So many individuals have taken the initiative, the risk to cross over. They have braved up, crossed through the waters. Others have drowned. We have had cases of ships drowning, um, others dying there, others, very few are saved from those severe conditions. But the real problem is about what they are running away from behind there, you know. And what happened in this particular case? In late July 2026, tens of thousands of people have crossed from Morocco to Ceuta in unprecedented search. Many swam around border barriers using flotation devices. Look at that. Flotation devices. Flotation is devices. These are devices that actually, so long as it can float, if it's a jerry can, others can use a jerry can. If it's a balloon or a tire, so long as it's anything that can make them float above the waters, it makes them cross over. Others crossed on foot after border controls were overwhelmed. I saw even a very young man crossing over carrying his bicycle. He was not going to leave the bicycle behind. And I've seen Spanish authorities have deployed soldiers, police, and emergency personnel as the city struggled to cope with the surge. Within hours, hospital shelters and public services were under immense pressure. Reports also confirmed the tragic deaths during the crossover, highlighting the severe humanitarian crisis. Because, as per the report, over 35 young men and women have lost their lives trying to cross. Why did this happen? The reasons are very complex. The reasons are very complex. And remember, we're living in a VUCA world that is a volatile, ambiguous, we have also uncertain and complex world. But what are the key reasons? The first key reasons is an economic pressure, because many migrants are seeking employment, financial stability, and opportunities that are difficult to find at home. Meaning, in our homeland, we have the political class have created a scenario in which inflations are rising day in and day out. People are living from hand to mouth, and others are finding it even more difficult to be able to support themselves and their children. Others opt to drop out of school. There are no jobs around. They have decided to go out. eh. Others is because of opportunities are not sufficient for them to be able to manage their daily lives. Again, also, we have also experienced cases like whereby the second option is having something like political tension. Some analysts believe that diplomatic tension between Morocco and Spain may have influenced the border enforcement, although the full picture remains undebated. Other people are running away from wars. Like now, you take an example, we have had the Sudan war. People are crossing over, trying to run away. They become refugees. They're seeking shelter and at least favorable environment whereby there is peace, or places whereby they can be able to live peacefully and thrive. And then also we have something like court ruling rumors. A recent Spanish court decision regarding migrants arrived by sea was widely discussed online. Authorities say that human traffickers and misinformation exaggerated the ruling, encouraging thousands to believe they could remain in Spain if they entered Ceuta by swimming. So this one also can be part of the thing that really pushed these individuals to take what they have the action that they took. They have created a very big crisis. Now, another thing that needs to be taken about is the human history. Behind every statistics in human being, some migrants were escaping poverty. You know, poverty is a crisis that needs to be addressed in each and every continent. Each and every continent need to fight poverty, because when people are living below the poverty line, it means they are unable to meet their daily needs. We call them the basic needs. So what happens is that they find themselves that they have no option but to go out and seek greener opportunities, or greener pastures, as we may call it. And through doing this, they create the migration crisis. Okay, because we realize that we have been divided into classes. That is the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. And whereby you realize that the lower class are those who are, they are the one who are many in number. So the resources available for them to utilize cannot support them. So they have to go out to seek for new opportunities to be able to escape from the poverty. I can say poverty is like a pandemic, you know. Poverty is like a big, is like cancer or any other most feared disease over. So it means many are running away to escape from poverty. Others hope to support families back home. So they know, they have observed their family status, and they have learned that the only way is to go out there, do something, and then support your family back home to ensure that you create an environment in which you are elevating your family status. Actually, many were young people willing to risk everything for what they believe will be a better future. You know, it is very dangerous and very risky for someone who has nothing to lose. Those people don't care. They risk it all. So whether you like it or not, you cannot stop them, because already a decision has been made within themselves that, you know what, if I stay here, I'll still die. I might die or I might not survive. So the only thing, or the only option I have, is to go out there and try. And I can take this an example of the three lepers in the Bible, they were hungry. They had no food. They had no food, but they had to do something, because they said, actually, if we stay here, we'll still die. And if we go, if they kill us, well and good. We tried. And at the end of the day, you realize that whatever the action they took became favorable on their side. The same has happened. There are those who have managed to cross over to Europe, and they have managed to get good opportunities for them to thrive and support back their brothers and sisters and their families home. Others have managed even to bring their brothers and sisters into the European nations, or maybe America, or any other part. But in as much as this happened, the unfortunate part of it is that many never made it. Many never made it. Families were separated, lives were lost, many were injured. You know, many were injured because the others through maybe it's something like a stampede. Communities on both sides of the border were deeply affected, because now we are going to places whereby we are going to experience newer cultures. Newer cultures. We are coming with our culture. We are going to meet people with the newer cultures. You see, sometimes it might be very difficult to handle these individuals. So this crisis reminds us that migration is not simply about borders. It is about people. And what are people really looking for? They're looking for favorable environments and opportunities. Okay? Here's now another part whereby it's now becoming a threat to the European countries. Why Europe? Why is Europe concerned about it? The crisis immediately became a European crisis. Several governments expressed concern that such a large movement of people could strain border security and humanitarian resources. Spain and Morocco began coordinating returns for many migrants, while European leaders debated how to respond. The events have also reviewed the debate about migration policies, border security, human trafficking, the way of international corporations, and human rights. All these things are being discussed. But these ones are just the aftermath, the results of an underlying problem, which many institutions or governments are failing to address. Okay? They're failing to address the issues of corruption, the issues of economical status, the issues of opportunity. We're talking about the issue about education systems that we are undergoing, and so on and so forth. The political tensions within countries, we can call it the civil wars within countries, like the one now in the one that has been happening in Sudan between the RSF and the army. You also need to understand about that. So the key thing here we're talking about is we are looking at the problem, but not the cause of the problem, because the cause of the problem has to be addressed. If it is peace, let it be addressed. These governments need to talk about peace. They need to create about policies that favor migrations, or policies that favor people to thrive. Create economies that enable people to stay where they are. They don't have to move out thinking of greener pasture only for others to die crossing over, to drown in the sea. It doesn't add up. Now, what are the lessons the world can learn from this migration within 24 hours? We also saw a crisis in the American border between America and Mexico. You have heard Trump saying he's building a wall to bar people from the other side crossing over to America. This crisis teaches several important lessons. Number one is migration is rarely caused by a single factor. It is caused by economical inequality. It's caused by conflict. It's caused by political decisions that were made very poorly by the governments and the politics of the state. We have climatic pressures, and misinformation can also combine to push people towards dangerous journeys. No country can solve migration alone. No country, get it from me, no country can solve migration alone. Okay? No country can do that. It requires cooperation between countries, investment in economic opportunities, we have also legal migration pathways, and strong action against human trafficking. So, even also those people who are doing human trafficking, they take this one as an advantage. You know, you look at it, that they look at it, and you see, like, now this is the time that we are able to do our business and thrive. And remember, human trafficking is among the most billion-dollar business. People are thriving out here. Okay? Think about it. In conclusion to this, the Ceuta crisis is not just about Spain's story. No, it's about Africa as Africa continent at large. It's about the South American, or let's say global. It's a global crisis that needs to be addressed. It is an African story that needs to be worked on. And ultimately, it is a human story which needs to be addressed. Whether you view migration through the lens of security, economic, or comparisons, one fact remains clear. The challenge now is finding solutions that protect borders while also protecting human dignity. Create environments within our homes. Create environments that can allow our young people, or generally the communities, to thrive, have something to eat. Okay? Create opportunities, job opportunities, businesses that will allow individuals to thrive. Because we find it very difficult, because when you look at the conditions that we are in, we're living over hand to mouth, no shelter sometimes. Right now, many people are not even They don't know what they're going to eat in the next meal. They don't have. What does that simply mean? It means it's a crisis that needs to be addressed. The policies that governments are making needs to be relooked into. They should make policies that favor businesses to thrive, that will favor people to do businesses, create opportunity. You know, when businesses are created, opportunities are created, meaning people will be able to find opportunities working in these businesses and enterprises and companies. Okay, so this is something that needs to be looked deeply, deeply, because if it is not looked, it is a ticking time bomb. Unemployment is a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb. That is why you have seen governments overthrown. Look at Nepal the other day. You saw young people going to the street. Look at a place like Burkina Faso. You have seen what is happening. You have seen uprising of young people globally, fighting against economic injustice, social injustice, unemployment as a crisis, and so on and so forth. You know, they're rising up because they feel like they are being pressed and they are not able to thrive. They have gone to school and no jobs. How do you expect them to survive? That is why crime cases are increasing day in and out. This is something that the government, the government stakeholders need to take action. Take action, take action, take action. It is my responsibility, it is your responsibility that we go out there, create a favorable environment that will allow us to thrive in our homeland. Africa is full of potential. Africa has a lot of potential. Africa has a lot of resources. Only to realize that a few individuals are stealing resources from Africa and taking it to the other parts of the world. Yet the same resources can be used here in our homeland or other parts of the world. So basically, what we're trying uh, to address here are the key issues, the foundational issues that creates this crisis. As I wrap it up, all I want to say is, it's your battle, it's my battle. We need to work together to ensure that we create environments that will allow us to thrive and love our country. Africa is our business, and we will keep working out to ensure that we create environments that allow the young people to thrive, because they have a lot of, they are energetic, they are innovative. All they need is an opportunity to be able to come out. If you find this video informative, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Give it a share. Let us have these conversations amongst ourselves and see if bring in the ideas together that will help us solve the crisis that we are experiencing out here. What do you think is the best long-term solution to this global migration? Leave your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. Let's have meaningful conversations. Thank you very much, and have a good evening, have a good afternoon, and then also you can be able to have a good night depending on where you're watching me from. Thank you very much. Gracias. Adios.